So, my name is Srini. On behalf of CFIC, I would like to welcome to all of you joining us today for this important immigration information session. We truly appreciate you taking the time to be here. As many of you know, recent changes to the EAD automatic extension policy have raised a lot of questions and concerns within our community. And these updates can significantly affect work authorization timelines and employment stability for many individuals and families. And that's why today's discussion is so timely and important. At CFIC, we are deeply committed to keeping our community informed and empowered. Sessions like these are part of our broader effort to provide reliable information, direct access to experts and practical guidance to help you make informed decisions. We are very fortunate to have with us today our attorney Madhurima Paturi, an experienced immigration attorney who will walk us through the recent EAD changes, what they mean for different visa categories, and what steps individuals and employers should consider moving forward. Before we begin, just a quick reminder, please keep your microphones muted during the presentation to minimize background noise. You are welcome to post questions in the chat box. We will address as many as possible during the Q&A segment at the end. With that, I would like to hand it over to Attorney Madhurima Garu. Please.
Thank you, Sridhar. You can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Madhurima Paturi. I am the founding attorney at Paturi Law. We are based in Orlando, but we practice immigration law all over the country. I'm glad to see some of my clients here and also the community members, which we see regularly. Please contact us if you do need any help with immigration, real estate, and other laws which we practice here. Happy to support the community, especially when there's always updates. I love to come out and talk about it. So recently, as you probably already know and aware of it, the EAD automatic extensions are not going to continue as of October 30th. So I just want to give a brief of that, how it affects what it is looks like, even though there's nothing much we could do right now other than if you already have expired the EAD. Then I also like to give some updates on the H-1Bs, especially probably I'll start with the H-1Bs. As you all know, that government shutdown been happening from little one day over 1 month from last 4 weeks. A lot of people are in concern, especially Department of Labor being not working. That means that you can't file the LCA, PERMs, PWDs, all those kind of things. As of last night, around 5 o'clock, they reopened the Department of Labor website. That means that you could file the LCAs. You can go ahead and work on your amendments, transfers. A lot of people are in the grace period, which was really, really scary. We went through so many consultations last few days that they could able to do the change of employer, things like that. I think that it's a good news that we could able to go ahead and file the LCS. It's the same thing with the PERMs. A lot of people expiring the ads, all those kind of things. There are some people who filed actually paper filing. You can go ahead and resume on the PERMs, PWDs, anything that if you already filed before the shutdown, which was impending, they didn't process those applications. Hopefully they will start processing those things also. Not sure that what is the reason the opening, even the government is still shut down. Regardless of the reason, good news is from our side is we can file the LCAs because the USCIS is not affected. So once we have the LCAs and the PERMs and everything else, you can continue with the USCIS forms like the H-1Bs, I-140s and other things. Just want to give an update on that as that it's a recent news, and also it's important for the community to work on those petitions so they don't go out of the status, especially somebody who are about to lose the grace period with H1Bs. Other than that, I know we spoke here last time. I believe it's little over a month about $100,000 fee for the H1Bs, right? And the USCIS came out and gave some clearance that it doesn't affect for the people who do the change of status. Like example, if they're already here as a students, and if they do the change of the status, applying for the new H1B lottery or any H1B, or the people who already here in other status and do the change of status, $100,000 doesn't affect them, right? And also somebody who already have the H1B and they're doing the extensions, amendments, and if they have to go for the stamping, it doesn't affect them $100,000. So that clearance, the USCIS came back and gave that couple of weeks ago. But just want to give you a quick update. Probably you might have been already hearing or you're seeing in your own cases that we are receiving the RFPs for $100,000 for the people who already been on the H1B. I think that one thing common what we are seeing is the H1B petitions that was filed after September 21st and you mark it as a consular processing. Regardless, you are here in a status and applied for the change of status. You are here and applied for the transfer, right? You initiated the transfer, but you choose as a concurrent employment. Sometimes they may have a plans to go out and come back in between the transfer. So if ever choose any employment on the consular processing, we are seeing the RFPs for $100,000. Those it is very, very early stage. We only started seeing from 3 to 4 days ago. So the pattern we are seeing is regardless of the what H1B, if it is chosen in the I-129 as a consulate process, that's where we are seeing that $100,000 asking for. Then at that time, either you have to prove that it's not a new application, you're exempted from $100,000 by saying that you are national interest waiver, or you are going to be qualifying one of those sections where it says that you are in the change of status, but make sure that it was not a consulate process. So I think that the pattern is the consulate process is what it's tricking $100,000 RFP. Again, I know a lot of you may ask questions. It's too early, but that's the pattern. At least I observed for $100,000 RFPs what we are getting. Other than that, getting on the H4 EADs or any type of the EADs, right? It's not just the H4 EADs. I know we talk about more of the H4 EADs because a lot of our community holds the H4 EADs. EAD, Employment Authorization Document, you get the Employment Authorization Document in multiple ways. The majority of the way is when you have the 485 pending, right? Your 485 is pending, you file the EAD, the travel permit, work permit with the 485. 485 is the adjustment of status application. Some of them, the 485 being pending for years because it's not, their dates are not current, but they're current under the dates of filing, not the final action dates. That means that you are eligible to file the 485, including other applications like work permit and travel permit, but your green card final dates are not there. So, which is a great thing, right? We have the opportunity to work while you get your green card, but it has the expiration. When you have the expiration date, you are eligible to file the extension only 6 months before, regardless of what kind of the EAD it is. So if you're eligible to file 6 months before, you could file anytime 6 months now to the until the end of the your expiring of the EAD. Once you file it, if you get the EAD approved before your current EAD expires, then you can continue to work with your new EAD. But unfortunately, we can't predict a lot of the USCIS processing time. Even you might have applied like right at the mark of the 6 months, but sometimes the processing times takes longer, right? That's how all this extension, automatic extension, that's how they introduced. back in those days, it was 180 days because they couldn't able to provide you the EAD extension approval before the current EAD expires. So the administration provided the automatic extension of the 180 days. So once you file, your EAD expires. From there, the expiration day, you have 180 days, 6 months to actually work on the based on the receipt notice if you don't get your EAD approval. So the receipt notice is acceptable document for the HR to for you to hire. Okay, that 180 days moved to the 540 days in 2024, and that they made it again final to go until the 2026. So what happened is last week, so they're telling that automatic EAD extensions are cancelled. That means that we are not going back to the 540 to 180 days. They are saying that they're automatically cancelled, means no 540, no 180 days. That means that once your EAD expires and if you don't have handy your new EAD, that means that you need to stop whatever you're doing. Either it's a work, it's a business, whatever you are involved in. Okay. So you might have applied, but you're not able to get your EAD. So that's a big change. No more, the receipt doesn't come anymore, the automatic extension. So only hope is you'll get your EAD approved before it expires, right? So I think that first of all, when you look at the history, nobody needs the automatic extension for any EADs as long as the EAD is approved, right? So the hope is here the USCIS probably can approve all these things before the current EAD expires, then we don't have to worry about the automatic extensions. But is that even possible? Is that even a practical? We don't know, because when you look at the history of the last 2 years, there is a 95,000 applications was filed for just for the H4 EADs. There are about 240,000 EAD extension applications were filed whose 485 is pending. Just to give the approximate numbers, this one, and how the processing times would work, and how there is a less employment in the USCIS and the more AI is there now. Is it going to work or no? Are we going to have a gaps going forward with the EAD is something we all have to wait and see. But for now, if you don't have the EAD after your current EAD expires, you can't work. You need to stop working. You have to let your HR know on that. Once you have your new EAD, then provide the new card to them. They have to update the I-9 forms. It's very, very important when you are, especially in the business, the employers. I urge everybody to be very cautious about the I-9 documents. The ICE and uh, USCIS is on top of the employer right now with I-9 forms, e-verifies, and everything. I just want everybody to make sure that you're complying on those things right now. These are the major updates, and one of the good thing with this is OPTs doesn't cover here. So if you are on a student visa and you have the OPT and you're applying for the STEM OPT extensions, those kind of things, you don't come under the one of the categories where the automatic extensions were cancelled. You still have that 180 days where you can wait for the from the OPT to the STEM OPT that you could able to work with that receipt. So when you look at the majority of the Indian community, where our EADs are mostly on the H4 based and the 485 based, and also the students, these are the major EADs. Other than that, we have a bunch of the L2s who are on the spouse of the L1s who could able to work here, and the E2s. Those are the other some of the categories a lot of Indian communities are involved. The good thing with the L2, E2, those kind of the EADs, you don't need to have the actual EAD card. The I-94 serves as the EAD for you. So if you entered into the country with the I-94, that itself is a document for you for the EAD. So you don't need to have a special EAD card. In that case, if your EAD, which has previously there was a EADs, so if that EAD is expired but your I-94 is valid, you still can work based on the I-94. Or let's say that your I-94 is expiring, you're leaving the country and come back with I-94, new I-94, that I-94 would serve as the as your EAD. So you don't need to have a special EAD card. That's only applicable for the L2, E2s, other than the H4s and the adjustment of status applications. So I think that this is the brief overall of it. There's not much other than what it is, very plain language, that there is no automatic extensions. Once you are expired, it expired. If you have the EAD approved before your expiration, you can continue to work. If there is a gap, you need to stop it. Either you continue to work with a new EAD card, or if you have a break and a new card came, both employer and employee, you need to update your records. Make sure that you have a new I-9 forms based on the new EAD card. I think that's all. I will take some questions before we wrap up if you have any questions, but we just stick on to the topic so we don't go all over. And also, I urge every webinar that if somebody answered the similar question, what you have, what you're thinking, if it is answered, please don't ask the same question again.
Thank you, Madhurima garu. It's very informative on H1 and also recent filing of the labor information and 100,000 cap information, the fee information and EAD extension. So now please post your questions here.
Because somebody asked a question when we say we can apply H4 EAD 6 months before, we should have approved H4 or I-94 beyond that. You need to have the valid I-94. That's what it's important. But if you're in the United States and applied for the H4 extension or somehow, but you have the I-94 which is attached to the H4, EAD is always ends when your I-94 ends. That could be the whatever the last action is. Either you entered with I-94 which has the validity date, or you have the new I-94 after you entered the country and applied with the USCIS the H4 extension or the new H4 which has the I-94 on the bottom, that your EAD matches with that. Whatever your EAD is valid until that's the time you have to have your EAD valid form. Yes, 180 days on the I-94 is important. My new EAD card I received. So you received the EAD card on September 29th and it expired on October 10th, 2025. Not sure it is. Are you saying it's only you got it for 10 days? I mean, if that's what your I-94 is, probably the match with your I-94. Yeah, you all can apply H1, H4, H4 EAD all together. And even though the USCIS don't carry a promise or regulation, H4 and H4 EAD has to be approved at the same time as the H1B, but practicality we are seeing that they're all approving at the same time. Even the H1 comes first approved in the premium processing, especially. Then we also see the H4 and H4 EAD following up in probably in 1 or 2 weeks right after the H1 is approved. So even though they don't say that they're going to process the premium processing, the H4 EAD and H4, but technically they are doing for now. So is this policy change applicable across the board? Yeah, it applies to most of it. As I specifically mentioned, it doesn't apply to the students, which is the STEM OPT extensions. It doesn't apply to some of the TPS, those kind of things. But when it comes to our community, most of the categories what we are in, it applies to that. It applies to the asylum, which is pending, adjustment of status, H4 EADs, other things. If I file my H4 extension with my husband's H1, will I get? I think I just answered that question. I am in H4 EAD. So I don't know. I can read the question. I'm in H4 EAD and my 797 is there till January 2026. But my old passport was valid till October 15th. So got my EAD card until the October 14th, 2025. And applied for new EAD card and passport before it expired. But now can I work? Um, I don't know. You're saying that 797 is January 2026. And your EAD card says October 14th. 797 and the EAD card should show the same thing. I don't see why there's a difference in there. And I don't know who is Bindu. She said, yes, I applied in December. I don't know what's it about. If I file H1B with the premium and if I send my H4 and H4 EAD along this as a complete package, I answered that yes, it get approved together. Especially in the premium, we are seeing the things getting approved at the similar time. I have applied for EAD extension March 2025, received receipt notice as well. Till today, no updates on the case. It's always showing the same as 7 months. Is there any way get latest updates? Unfortunately, USCIS is not very active in updating the processing times. Yes, we are seeing 7 to 9 months in the regular processing for the EADs. If you applied as a standalone H4 EAD or H4 EAD itself, um, we are seeing about 7 to 9 months is what we are looking for, unless you applied with the premium processing with the spouse for the H1B. I'm in the transition to H1B from L1, waiting for the approved 797. How does this impact me? This EAD doesn't impact for you. EADs are only for the who has the 765, which is Employment Authorization Document H1, and the L1 doesn't need the EAD. Do I have to get a new stamping in India if I change my current LCA to a different client, even though I have stamping? Nobody goes to the stamping unless it's needed. Okay, you only travel outside the country when it's needed, and if you happen to have the visa is expired, that's the only time you get the stamping. Nobody travels just to get the stamping. I mean that it's not required for anybody. As long as you have the I-94, you have the 797 approval with I-94 to stay in the United States, you can continue to stay in the United States. Nobody ever travel just to get the stamping. Stamping is not required to stay in the United States. I don't know, Alex. It would be nice if they can introduce the premium processing. USCS could make a lot of money out of it. I don't have any information on that. Bindu, I see my EAD expires October 10th, and yes, I-94 till October 10th. Husband applied for visa extension later. So do I have to wait till visa renewal to apply for EAD extension? I don't know. I mean that you should have applied with your husband the extension, the H4 and the H4 EAD. If you didn't already apply, then yes, you have to wait. You said that husband applied for the visa extension, and you're talking about the EAD extension. What about your H4? Did H4 is filed with the H1B? If the H4 is filed with the H4 with the H1B and you didn't file the EAD at that time, seems like um, my husband. This is like a chat box kind of thing. Oh my God. Okay. If he is transitioning from the L1 to the H1B, he needs to get approved the H1B first before you file for your, unless, I mean that how we, if he's transitioning from the L1 to the H1, does he has a I-140 for you to apply for the H4 EAD? So I just want to let you know that just because you are on the H4, you don't you are not automatically eligible for the H4 EAD. To eligible to for the H4 EAD, the spouse who is on the H1B should have the I-140 approved. Then only you are eligible for the H4 EAD. If you don't, your spouse don't even have the I-140, you are not eligible for the EAD based on the H4. That's different with the L1. L1 spouse, just because you are a spouse of the L1, you automatically get the EAD and you don't need the EAD specifically. I-94 serves as a EAD. But with the H4, the spouse who is on the H1 has to have the I-140 approval for you to get the to apply for the EAD based on the H4. So my H1B already approved. My spouse H4 and H4 EAD are valid until um, mid-April 2026. We applied for the H4 and H4 EAD extensions in mid-October 2025. Could you please let me know how long it usually takes for the H4 and H4 EAD? I already mentioned that one. It mentioned about 7 to 9 months. Anybody who filed before October 30th and the USCIS received your application before October 30th, you should all get the receipts with the automatic extension. It's only after any applications received after October 30th is what you're not going to get the receipt with automatic extension. Maybe we can just unmute Srinivas Garu, because this is so much. They are just having the whole consultation right here, follow-up questions. It's too much to read. Unless somebody wants to read, I can answer. I don't know if
So
anybody
now
can hear.
so you can unmute, but only one at a time, please.
Can I go first?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so my case was we had visa till September end, and my husband was here in America, but I came in December, so I applied for EAD as soon as I came, hoping that it will renew at least within 6 months or so. But by the time it came in September end, and they gave it only till October 10th, and my husband applied for visa renewal maybe somewhere in August. So now that I have the renewal, we have applied for renewal with the receipt. Can I apply for H4 EAD, or do I have to wait until that extension is approved and we get that next I don't know
You can apply, but they will issue a RFE saying the proof that you need to have a valid I-94, but you applied the H4 with your husband's H1, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and the reason you didn't apply for the EAD at that time?
Because he asked his attorney, he said now that she has already applied for H4 EAD, it will be a double application, so no need to apply again. Because
No, that shouldn't be that way.
yeah.
So even if you get your EAD also, it will expire in 10 days. Everybody knows that, right? So
Yeah.
they should have applied the H4 EAD with the H4, Anytime you file these things, H4 EAD always expires with whatever the validity of the H4. If you're applying
Yeah.
for the H4, you do have to apply for the EAD at the same time. Okay? Since you didn't apply at that time, yes, you can apply with the receipt, but you should expect the RFP asking for, hey, can you provide the approval notice for the H1B and the H4, which by that time it should approve. If not, you can give the receipt numbers to them saying that it is in adjudication process. They will approve everything at some time, but definitely you should expect the RFP.
Okay, but I can apply with the receipt. As of now, I can apply. Thank you.
Right. Mhm.
Hi, this is Sudhakar. Can I go next?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Hi, this is
So,
Lalita. Okay.
Wait, Lalita.
thank you. So the thing is, I'm planning a travel to India in the month of January, and my stamping expires in the month of September next year. So, I'm and my LCA is changing to a different client this month. What are the precautionary steps that I should be taking?
Hello.
LCA,
So we are
LCA
hearing
and
a lot of background noise. Please unmute.
so you
Please
can mute
unmute.
everybody, Srinivas. Just unmute only the person who is talking.
Yeah, this is
Um,
Sudhakar. Yeah.
yeah, stamping LCA has nothing to do with that. You know, you can change multiple employers, you can do multiple amendments, you can do whatever you want to do while you're in the United States. Okay. Obviously, whenever you change any employer,
Yeah, you're not audible.
I'm so sorry, but you're not audible. I think they have muted you as well.
I didn't know that. I spoke too much. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I was just telling you, like, you can do multiple amendments, multiple transfers, changes in the LCAs, and a lot of things you can keep doing while you're in the United States. It doesn't mean that you have to go to the stamping every time you have a change in your H1B. But usually the stamping is required when you happen to travel, and before you travel to come back, make sure that you have the valid stamping. If you don't have the valid stamping, you do make a plans ahead of the time to make an appointment and get the stamping. So in your case, you are saying that you are already here, you're changing the client. That means that there is an amendment happening. Amendments don't need a stamping if we have a valid stamping. If you don't have the valid stamping and you are traveling, you do need the stamping, but 100,000 doesn't affect you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for patiently answering. Yeah. And any other precautions that I should be taking, or am I good for now?
I don't know your case, but
Oh,
based on the 100,000, it doesn't apply to you. Okay.
okay. Thanks a lot.
Hi,
Thank you so
this
much.
this is Lalita. Just I have two questions. One is I traveled to India in August, but my I-94 did not get a new date as my husband validity is for 2028. So how can I get my I-94?
What do you mean by you don't have the new I-94? Did you check it
So
online? What is it
while I was
valid until?
while I was traveling to India, at the same time my husband H1 got extended up to 2028. I
I
traveled
understood
back
that.
to
What
you.
is your I-94 says? When did you enter?
I entered on August 21st. He got in August 1st his new H1B extension.
Okay. And what is your stamping says?
Stamping date August 1st.
I understand, madam. What is your expiry of your parent?
March 2026.
Yeah. What is your I-94 says?
Same day.
Yeah. It matched your stamping. What's the concern?
Hello. I have a question. Can I ask? Can I go ahead?
Yes,
I
please.
don't know if I answered her question. She has no reaction after.
Hello. So are you able to hear me?
I did. I'm asking
Okay.
you. It
Hmm.
matched your your I-94 and your visa stamping, where is your concern?
No, my concern is, okay, while I was in India, my husband's
No,
H1
let's
is,
stick on to the point. Don't have to start all over. Okay. Your visa stamping ends in March 2026, correct?
yeah.
Your I-94 ends March 2026.
Mm-hmm.
What is your concern there? It matched your facts. What is your concern?
Usually, I heard from some
No, forget about usually and heard. No, where is that your concern here? Does it match your stamping or no?
So my husband H1 is
How
extended
do
until.
the CBP knows your husband?
So how CBP means they don't see in the online while entering, I am coming back.
How do they know that that's your husband and it's supposed to be updated? That doesn't work like that. Anyway, the bottom point is, without any questions, your I-94 stays exactly what it's supposed to be. I don't see a problem there.
Okay.
If you wanted more, you have to get the new stamping that matches with your husband. Then you get your I-94, which matches to your stamping.
Lights turn left.
Okay, Som.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I have a question. The EAD is valid until May 2026, and H4 also is valid until then, or I-94 is also valid until then. So now, even if you apply now for precautionary for EAD, it won't be approved, right? Even if it is approved before 180 days, they will give only until the validity of I-94. Is that right, ma'am?
You can't apply, first of all. You're not eligible to apply before 6 months. You
Okay,
can
no.
only file
Hmm.
on the day of the 6 months, only 6 months before. Okay. So depend upon when you are in the May, you could probably apply somewhere in December.
Yeah, if you apply in December, they are going to give only until validity of I-94, right? They don't give beyond
You are
that.
applying for the extension, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do they give until then? The start date itself is going to be after 6 months, after the May 2026. They will ask, right, in the H4 when the H4 will be extended.
Yeah.
You're going to be filing the H4 and the H4 EAD and probably the H1 also at the same time, at the 6
Correct.
months more.
Correct, ma'am. Yeah.
So why should they go back? This is extension. Extension is only going forward, not going back.
No, I'm
But
asking
make
for.
sure that you are applying within the 6 months range, not before that.
Okay. So until all of them approved, we cannot work after May 2026, right? Bottom line is that, right, ma'am?
Right. Approving is different. Applying is different. Applying within the 6 months range. Approving, we don't have anybody in control. If it approves before the 6 months, great. If it don't, then you stop what you're doing.
Okay, we have to wait until the work is. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Madhurima garu, here I have one doubt. So if they did not get the approval within their expiry date, are there any alternatives for that one? Is there any suggestions for alternatives?
Not for the work, no.
No?
Because everybody has to have the compliance, right? All the HR, all the companies has to maintain the compliance. That's a requirement from the both Department of Labor and the Department of Homeland Security. One of the form everybody has to follow is the I-9. I-9 shows that what is the valid document you needed to work in this United States. That includes the US citizens has to provide the proof of the ID. Okay. For the non-immigrants on the EAD, the proof is the valid EAD document is the proof. The valid EAD document, if it is not there, obviously you have no right to work.
Okay.
You need to take a pause.
Okay, thank you.
Unless you have the H1B previously and you move to the H4 EAD, then if you find a job, you want to move from the H4 to the H1B so you can continue to work, you could do that way. But if you never had the H1B or you don't have any other choices, or you may be on the F1 and you may have a chance to get the OPT. There's other ways, but if you want to continue on the same EAD, you need to have approval. When there is no approval, you have to take a pause.
Okay.
This is the reason why the automatic EAD extension was introduced few years ago, because there was a gap in the processing times of the USCIS for the extension, and there was a long delays, and a lot of people are losing the work opportunities, business opportunities during that time. That's the reason of the automatic EAD extensions was introduced, exactly for the same reason. So are we going to go back into the same stage? Are they going to improve their processing times? Is what we need to look at it. When you look at the interim final rule, the whole reason they mentioned about why they took out the automatic EAD extension is they want to do the vetting process. Vetting process is related to the security and the safety of the country. They wanted to make sure that you have any criminal history that was happened from the last extension to now. They want to know all this process. They think that by giving automatic EAD extensions, they're not doing this vetting process. That's why they wanted to have that break where they can take time to do it before their extension happen within that 6 months range. Honestly, you don't need a 6 months to vet anybody. And when you look at the history, it's the majority of the percentage don't even fall into this a lot of the risk and the national threat kind of thing. But that's the reason they mentioned about the automatic EAD extension was taken out.
So thank you, thank you. That is the only main reason for this, automatic extension relax. So
Right.
okay,
Yeah,
and
I have a question.
also 1 minute, and also, so H4 EAD mostly dependents, right? They get the EAD and they work. But is there any other way the H4 EADs can change their to the other visas to work like a L?
The spouse has to be whatever the spouse is on. Either you have to have your own visa, you need to have your own H1, your own L1, you need to have your own 485 pending. Either you need to have your own application, or you need to be dependent on somebody if you're a spouse, right? That's how the dependents are going to be. And the kids under 21 are also automatically the dependents. If you are on the H4, that means that you are a dependent of the H1. Either you can still be dependent, or you can go your own visa like H1 or student visa, or if you have your own opportunity of doing the EB5, EB1s, those kind of things which we regularly do in our firm. Unless you have your own petition, you need to be dependent on other petition.
Yep. So that's what
They can do the change of status and have their own thingy, but they have to know that what is their options to do the change of status.
But again, they can come back to the husband.
Yeah, anytime they can, as long as they're married and the spouse maintains the status, they can always come back into the status.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
Can H4 extension is 1 second? Huh? Can H4 extension is in progress? She can travel outside of US and come back with the spouse new I-94. She can get a automatic extension.
Then you can have to apply the H4 after your last entry.
No, if it is already in the process, I mean, like is she applied?
I understand.
Okay.
If you're already in the process, the time when you file the H4, what is the validity of the H4 only, they will take it. They're not going to take based on the new I-94.
No, usually previously, like when you go out of the country and then like spouse I-94, they will consider and automatically it was extending, right?
They done that in the middle, Are they going to continue to do it? I'm not sure. But usually the H4 application is depend upon what is the validity of the I-94 at the time of the filing of the H4 extension. H4 EAD always has to match with I-94 of the H4.
Actually, see, when she is going like stamping, right? Okay, for example, in this case, okay, but her I-94, let's say March 2026, but spouse I-94 is 2028. So if she submitted,
I'm not sure nobody's talking.
No, he is here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, my question is, let's say when she's going at the time of stamping, her H4 validity in March 2026, and I-94 also March 2026, but she submitted H1 at the time of stamping, primary, the spouse H1B document, right? Okay. That is validity in March, let's say July 2028. Why don't they give, or is it possible to give match the spouse I-94?
I don't know if I'm making it clear. H4 EAD is based on the H4 I-94. Whatever the end date of the H4, the EAD comes only then. If she thinks that her spouse has until 2025, she need to fix her I-94 bar first to ask the request for the H4 EAD to match with the H4 I-94. Based on the spouse H4, you don't get it. You need to have the valid H4 valid with that I-94, which matches the EAD, or you need to apply the H4 and the H4 EAD together
When you
to
travel
match with
out
the
of the
spouse.
country, usually they should, they used to consider on spouse I-94, even if it is H4 I-94 is less than the spouse I-94 validity. They used to consider. It was happened previously.
Okay.
That's
good.
my question. It was, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
So next, who is the next? Please announce your name. Who wants to?
Yeah, it's Som.
Som, yeah.
Yeah, madam, I have an visa approved till 2027 November, but recently I changed the employer. In this case, I got the new I-797 approved till October 2026. If I travel to India, should I still go for stamping, or can I come back with the prior employer's approved visa?
You can come back with the prior approved visa.
Okay, thank you.
So, okay. Who is next?
Hi, Srini. I will go next. This is Tanisha.
Okay.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello.
So, yeah, I have a question. This is regarding my spouse. He is having a business here with one of the partner who is having valid EAD, and his EAD is expired, and we are waiting for the extension. So we did not get the extension yet. So what we need to do next? Do we need to stop his
But if you
business
already
or?
applied, you should have the receipt with automatic extension.
We have the receipt. But
receipt is a proof. That's it. That's good.
Also, he don't need to stop the business ownership or anything, right? He's good.
He has the automatic extension with 540 days already.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anybody who has the receipt before October 30th, they should have the receipt with the automatic extension.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
We are taking questions up to 5 minutes, please. Next.
Can I go next?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
So my question is, our employer's attorney has confirmed that both our H1 and H4s are approved, though we are still waiting to receive the official approval notice. So my question is, can we ask the employer's attorney to submit the completed H4 EAD application to USCIS now?
You don't have to have the company attorney to file, and you can choose any attorney to file for it. Is this the initial H4 EAD?
No, this is an extension, but we haven't applied with H1 and H4.
Oh, why is that?
We thought that, employer won't do the H4 EAD along with those, so.
Oh, you thought about it, okay. Yeah, they should have
We
filed
also thought that
together.
we'll be
You
having
should
this
have the
extension for
automatic.
500 days or so.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, you're cutting off.
No, I'm good. You can go ahead.
Yeah, so my question is, can we ask our employer's attorney now to submit the completed H4 EAD application to USCIS?
You can ask
Requesting
them,
that.
but I'm telling that you don't need to have the company attorney to do it. Any attorney can do it for you.
Okay. But we are still waiting on the receipt. It is approved, but we are still.
I understand. Yeah.
Okay.
You need to have that approval notice, so it would be easier for you to get that thing done.
Yeah, my employer's, I mean, my husband's employer's attorney requested that to have the receipt. So because he's been contacting the USCIS, my request is, can I ask him to do the EAD also this time?
Anybody, regardless of your company lawyer or outside lawyer, anybody, since you already applied, you need to have an approval notice to file the H4 EAD extension. Unless you file it together. Since you didn't file together, now you need to wait for the approval notice to file it, and you don't have to have your company attorney only to file this one. Any attorney can file the H4 EAD.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Last question, please. Who wants to?
My wife got H4 EAD approval notice, but she didn't receive the card yet. It's been more than 2 months now. How should we approach?
Did they say that the card is produced?
No.
They should tell that if the card is produced or yet or no. 2 months is a long time. You definitely have to contact the customer care, or you can go into the online USCIS website and you can do the case inquiry by putting the receipt number for the EAD and mention that you didn't receive the card.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Madhurima Garu, for for taking time and doing this well-informed session. And all of you, thank you for joining. And here is I put in the chat attorney information here. So if you have any questions, please email her and take her appointment. And also we have the CFIC information here. And this session is recorded and it is available at the YouTube. We are going to put it. Thank you all.
Thank you, Madhurima Garu.
Thank you, Madhurima Garu. It's valuable information. Thank you.